Hi, greetings from Cape Town. Thank you so much for your continued love and support. We got two praise items. The first is just to say thank you to you for your donations as we dealt with some of the food insecurity issues that resulted from lockdown here in South Africa. Through your generosity, Capricorn Community Church was able to provide 20,000 individual meals through the community kitchens in the area. We were able to support over 20 families every week during that period with food vouchers, and a further 100 families with at least 1 week's provision. So thank you so much for blessing that work and enabling the church to be the hands and feet of Jesus at a time of real and genuine need. Secondly, we want to praise God for what he's been doing through Call Up. In response to the lockdown, we've set up digital communities for sports people. We've seen sports people come to Christ. But we've also been able to reach a lot wider. I've had the privilege of leading through three groups. One has been continuing to meet with the guys at Ajax Cape Town Football Club, where I'm chaplain. But also I've had the privilege of facilitating a group of 10 football coaches from across the country. It's been wonderful to bring them together and connect them, and some track and field athletes who are training out of Tux University in Pretoria, some of whom, God willing, will be at next year's Olympics in Japan. So it's been a wonderful opportunity for us to minister into their lives and to disciple them during the time of lockdown. It looks like some of that's going to continue online at the end of this, as there's a real desire to carry on connecting and meeting. So we're really thankful for that. And then there's some items for prayer. Firstly, in light of what's been going on in the world with Black Lives Matter, many of you will be aware that Louise and I and Grace have been very intentional about building relationships and sharing lives cross-culturally in a nation that is still living with the legacy of racial injustice, the legacy of colonialism and apartheid still runs deep into the lived experiences of our Black and coloured friends here. And one of the things that God is reminding us of, and he's done this very powerfully, I think, from Exodus chapter 3, where we read God's response to the oppression of the slaves in Egypt, is we read that God sees their oppression, but he also hears their cries. And one of the things that God has been saying to us, and I think he's saying to the church, particularly the white church across the world, to white Christians across the world, that this is a time for us not to be quick to act or quick to speak, but it's actually a time for us to see the story, to understand the story, and to listen to the real and genuine pain of our Black brothers and sisters across the world. And we've been really privileged, I think, as a consequence of the relationships we've built, to be in a position where we're trusted to do that, and we're thankful for that. But we've got many young people here, including young Christians, who are beginning to ask some very serious questions about the legacy of European Christianity here on this continent. And we need real wisdom in being able to not just listen, but to respond to those questions from a gospel perspective, without in any sense denying the terrible mistakes and legacy of some of that on the continent. And then finally, could you just pray for Louise? Although she's not dealing directly with COVID, the impact of COVID on what she's doing with youth and children with HIV has been fairly seismic. And a beautiful gate. There have been staff who've contracted the virus, etc. And that's had a significant knock-on effect to how they deliver their ministry, how they deliver their work. And as you can imagine, Louise has been working exceptionally hard. She's very, very tired. So just pray that we would be able to rest and to rest well so that we can serve others as the hands and feet of Jesus. Thanks once again for your love, your support, and your prayers. God bless you.